Welcome back into the Sports Source. This segment brought to you by Tennova Healthcare. Tennova has locations all across East Tennessee to make treatment of your ailments more convenient, certainly throughout the Knoxville area. Plenty of locations. And for our viewers to the south, McMinn County, my old area, Tennova has just added Sky Ridge Medical Center in Cleveland, Tennessee, which might be closer for you and your family. Wherever you are, there's got to be a Tennova location near you. That is who I have trusted with my health. That's who my family has trusted with their health. Tennova.com to learn more. All right. You might recognize this guy that we're about to introduce. That was on CBS yesterday during the game. So let's go. Here we go. Sterling Hinton, our own former volunteer quarterback, is here. And then down there, we welcome in Chuck Cavaleris as well. And I'm sure Sterling, later in today's show, will not rub it in that he got one right. All right.
Baby.
All right. Fame or blame? Fame or blame, guys? A lot of good plays were made out there. Who stood out to you in terms of big plays, big performances? And then we may, if there are some misplays, we'll throw those out there too. But Fame, where are you going?
You go first.
Can I go first? Trevor Daniel.
Yes.
His punt to pin Georgia inside the one.
Yep.
As my son Hunter said, we're sitting up here, he goes, if you're standing on the hash mark and roll a ball that far, it may not make it. And to think that if that goes in the end zone, Georgia starts at the 20. Where did their final drive end? Somewhere around the 22, 27.
Right there, yeah.
How big was that extra yardage that he got? And I mean, it just wasn't that punt. It's been the entire season. But I'm going to go with Trevor Daniels.
50-yarder after 50-yarder after 50-yarder. And the way it went out of bounds, I told you that if that had been the Patriots, someone would have said Bill Belichick put magnets in the ball. It was that much of a cartoonish
And
left
don't
turn.
forget, the first thing on that, you got to get that punt off in less than 2 seconds because you're getting a lot of pressure and they're coming at you.
He sent the house.
You had to execute that like that. And of course, it's a little bit of a lucky bounce, but you're due one of those.
He's a tremendous asset that has been all year. Sterling Hinton, who gets fame?
Fame. Jalen Hurd. Now, he made some exceptional runs and punched a couple of Georgia guys or would-be tacklers. But if you just saw the way he acted in blitz pickup, he picked up some linebackers and some defensive ends that gave our quarterback Josh Dobbs the time he needed to make those key completions. Jalen Hurd, hats off to you.
There was it was one of the fourth down passes that kept them in it, and I remember tweeting out that Hurd had picked up the blitzer there, and it gave you the opportunity to get that fourth down.
Absolutely.
Chuck, we'll let you speak here.
Boy, what a catch by Josh Smith on 4th and 9 there on the 39. That, to me, that turned the whole game around because you ended up forced the fumble after that, and then you're able to get another score, 2 touchdowns in 30-something seconds. To me, that catch, I think Josh Smith might have been the only receiver on the team that can make that type of a twisting catch and still be able to get it into the end zone.
And Vaughn Pearson may be the only one who can make a catch on his rump. Which is what
that was a great catch.
Fourth down. That was a good catch.
Excellent catch.
And Bob brought up a good point that if Pearson doesn't slip, that's a low pass. Does he get down and get it if he hasn't kind of slipped already?
Man, Coach drew it up that way. What are you guys talking
about? Jimmy, fame?
Kind of hard not to go with Josh Dobbs, isn't it? 430 yards. He accounted for 5 touchdowns. He made some terrific runs. We talked earlier about his accuracy. He's not always going to be there, but he hit enough passes. They threw over the middle more. I thought that was the key, even though the first over-the-middle throw got picked off by a good defensive play. But I thought Dobbs he did just a lot of really good things to help Tennessee win it with his feet and at times with his arm.
We've also had a lot of questions this year about Mike DeBoard. I'll give him a little fame yesterday. 519 yards with a makeshift offensive line. That's pretty good day's work for DeBoard. And one thing that I liked, and I'm a fan of this, they ran the kind of a rub play to get Kamara open for the first touchdown, and they went back and did the same thing again. I love the offensive coordinator to say, you know what, you didn't stop it once, we're going to keep running it till you do stop it. That was a good move. Josh Malone stepped up yesterday. His best game by far.
The two freshmen.
Jack
Jones and Chance Hall.
Yep.
Right.
We'll talk about them in the next segment on the scoreboard segment. I also want to throw out our best, a little fame to Nick Chubb, who hopefully They think he may be able to avoid surgery. That was such an ugly injury for Georgia's running back. Mark Richt said
man.
last night that he thought they may be able to avoid surgery, that it might have just been an extremely ugly, horrible-looking strain.
And I noticed this morning, John, I know a lot of Tennessee fans were doing on Facebook prayers for Nick Chubb.
Oh, yeah.
The word out of Athens this morning is Mark Richt said no long-term concerns.
Good.
But that's all they're saying so far.
And then we don't really have time for it, but I'm going to throw a little blame. Just mention, have you ever seen a game with as many dropped passes that were huge? Yeah, Georgia's Reggie Davis drops a sure touchdown. But Tennessee had at least two. Jennings, one in the end zone to Wolf, I believe it was, in the back of the end zone, dropped. Malik Foreman had an interception that he dropped, and then Georgia's offense came to life. Todd Kelly couldn't get his hands around that one, and I know Tennessee fans were thinking, that was the chance, now they're going to score. So I've never seen a game with so many drop passes that became important. So there was a little blame in terms of some misplays out there. We've got your Twitter questions to come. We've got quick slants to come. But next, we'll talk about those O-linemen and also all the other spots on the field as we grade Tennessee's performance and talk about it position by position. Come on back on the Sports Source.